So you have unexpectedly become pregnant. Pregnancy is always a stress for women, including for biological reasons. An unplanned pregnancy can really drive you crazy though, causing feelings of fear, guilt, and helplessness. Let's look at how we can ease your state and make an informed and independent decision. We'll start from the fact that you might be feeling a lot of anguish due to the thinking that you shouldn't have been having risky sex if you weren't ready to become a mom. In this case, you are subject to a hindsight bias. Firstly, you are ignoring the fact that at the time of conception, you might not have been in possession of all the information that you have now. That pulling out before ejaculation can also lead to pregnancy. Secondly, now you are thinking about the consequences of sex, knowing its outcome. This gives you the illusion that if you were in the past, you would have acted differently. However, if you were in the past, you would find yourself in a situation with an uncertain outcome again and act in accordance with this. When we look back, we imagine we are traveling into the past with the knowledge of the future and don't even notice this. This creates excessive burdens of guilt and regrets. What conclusion can we draw from this? Notice the rumination over how you should have acted in order not to get pregnant. You can't control these automatic thoughts, but you don't have to follow their lead. Instead, you can consciously direct your attention to the future, the conclusions that you can make, and how you plan to proceed. By forgiving yourself for what's happened, you will be able to take responsibility for the situation that you have now found yourself in. As regards the future, however, everything might not be so simple either. Making a decision might be very difficult because both abortion and motherhood are linked to a large number of social prescriptions. Even if you aren't a religious person, you might be internally convinced that abortion is murder. You may see abortion as a sign of stupidity and permissiveness, misfortune, or an immoral act. In order to analyze the attitudes you have regarding abortion, you could write 10 sentences starting with the words, "Abortion is," don't think for too long. Just write whatever comes into your head. Read your list and assess how sure you are of each of these statements from 0 to 100. Which of these beliefs actually help you? Which of them do you want to take into account when making your decision? On the other hand, despite the spread of feminism, there are strong ideas in society of what right motherhood is. These more than likely have an influence on you. You may fear that the child is going to grow up without a father or that you are too young or old. You may even experience pressure on the part of people who are important to you regarding how you should act. If this pressure is distressing for you, explain that you need time to make a decision on your own or temporarily limit contact with these people. Pregnancy is primarily a biological process which takes place in your body, while all the rest is its interpretation by society. It is only you who can decide what to do with your body and its biological processes, and it's only you who can decide what future to choose for yourself, to become a mother this time or not. Finally, your personal history also influences your emotions as regards pregnancy. Maybe you always dreamed of being a better mom to your child than your mom was to you. And now that you've become pregnant unexpectedly, you're afraid because you haven't yet attained your image of an ideal mother. Or perhaps your mother always said that having kids changed her life, but not for the better. It took away her career, health, money, and the possibility of building her personal life. This experience might create a lot of fears in you that are linked to having a child. But to what extent are they realistic? So that you can make a decision more objectively, avoid considering having a child as merely an acquisition and abortion only as a loss. Write down for both options what you stand to gain and lose. And don't forget to give yourself enough time to make your decision. Uncertainty can give rise to serious anxiety and torment you. Because of this, perhaps you want to make a decision as quickly as possible. However, the demand to make a rapid decision might cause even more anxiety. In order to deal with this, give yourself an appropriate time frame for making a decision, at least 1 week. Don't demand a decision from yourself right this minute. Allow yourself to mentally live through both versions of your future and weigh up all the pros and cons. You have the right to choose your future independently, consciously, and without rushing. And any decision you make will be the right one for you personally.